with me, my brother, because I couldn't get any of the actual players to commit to a time that is not their session time, and I can't really do Saturdays or Sundays or even Fridays actually. So I just grabbed him because he was here and he couldn't run away. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, don't yeah. So basically, what I want to do here, because I think I already posted about this. I don't know if I posted about this on YouTube or not. I did post about it on Spotify. That I lost the audio for most of the footage. Shut the fuck up.
Lost.
Don't look at
Goat-
me like that.
Goat lost.
Don't look at me like that. The footage is right behind me. This is the footage, right? I have the footage. I just forgot to click on the record the desktop audio or the Discord audio or whatever,
Yes.
right? So I forgot to do that. So it's just me talking to myself in the whole recording and just silence on the other side. So what I thought and what I would do is just 2 times the video. We'll see the video, we'll talk about it. I'll do a quick recap. A couple people also pointed out in the comments that there was no intro or anything, which there was none. But I shouldn't have assumed like anyone would know about it. Of course they would. I don't know about you. Don't know about it. You haven't listened
Yeah,
to the thing,
and
right?
it's my first time. Okay.
It's fine. We'll just do a quick recap of episode 1. With that, I'll also give you like the kind of the backstory, like how the crew got here, what are they doing here, stuff like that. So episode 1 started with the crew landing on Driftwood. So they were sent to Driftwood by this captain that they all work for. They're part of like a bigger fleet.
Okay.
The captain's name is Blackhand Kane. He sent them on a mission to find some guy called Dravos. That guy will lead them to the South Blue to find someone called Klein Davis.
Right.
They're looking for Klein Davis because affiliate of Blackhand have told them that this person is missing and they need help with them, and then Blackhand chose like 4 people from the crew. They're all part of like different fleets, but he chose those people, and then these are the crew members or the player characters. Now I can go in depth like why I decided to do that, but I guess we'll cover that at some other point. Right now, let's just stick to the facts.
So
like,
there are
what
like
is
4
happening.
captains.
In
Have
the-
4 fleets, right?
Oh yeah, the fleets, yes. So Blackhand is the main guy.
Yeah.
And then there are 5 command. There's commander. Well, yeah, the first one would be Blackhand. Right? The first fleet commander would be
Yes.
Blackhand. The second fleet commander is there, whose crew the captain of this smaller crew is from, Fenris. Fenris is from the crew of the second fleet commander. Then we have our second player, Kala, who was part of the first fleet because Blackhand wanted him to do some research on some artifacts and stuff like that. Basically, he's the scholar of the crew. Fenris also is the cook plus doctor. We have like a limited amount of players, so I'm just trying to do like combined roles. So there's not much to worry about. I can do that with like NPCs and stuff, but then it will be just me talking to myself for the whole game. So I just don't want. I want to avoid that as much as I can.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's the 2 players are clear. Fenris is just human. He is a druid. The character itself is a druid. And Kala is, if you can see, this is Kala. This is
like-
Fenris. So again, the whole setting is same as Rustage's D&D, which was like 20 years before Goldie Rogers' death, like the first D&D. And I also thought that was a cool idea. So none of the characters have to, like, in the actual story of One Piece, none of the characters have to meet the canon characters. They can just hear about them because some characters still do exist, like Roger does exist at this period of time. This is
Yeah.
very close to God Valley incident, like which was 38 years ago from the current timeline, which would like kind of coincide to this point, but it won't happen. That's not the point. Okay, so we have our Captain Fenris, we have our scholar that is Kala, we have Shako the fishman. He's a crustacean type mantis shrimp fishman, which is a cool idea that I really like. Right now, I'm not really playing with the whole mantis shrimp part, but in the future, I will probably add some like special abilities in form of Fishman karate and stuff like that as they unlock that going forward as a level up. And then we have Akira, which there is no sheet here, but Akira is a PC that I had in the first few sessions, but then we have to switch because scheduling issues, stuff like that. So he had to leave, and then a new player comes in with as a new PC character, which is not really part of the crew or it has no relation to Black Hat whatsoever. Everything clear up until this point. I know I'm like loading a lot of on you, and this will also serve as like an introduction to the whole setting itself for the people listening, which fairly I got some criticism for not really going through which character is what. I'll try to maybe add like a montage at the start of every episode describing or basically just like how Rusty does it, like image, the role, and what their class. Clips essentially. I think I'll just upload like a small clip. That would be better, and the episode can start like normally. Like there's no need to add the fucking thing in every episode. I will do that on YouTube probably, but if I do that on YouTube, I might as well do that on Spotify. We'll see. None of that matters. So basically, what happened in the first session is the crew arrived. As soon as they arrived, they saw some villagers trying to row a boat out of the Western Docks, which is a part of Driftwood that they landed on because they were told that Dravos would be found here. So they landed there. Fenris overheard some of the villagers talking about medicine, getting a doctor, stuff like that. Fenris, being a doctor, curiously asks them that, "What's up? Like, what do you need help with?" They say that it's a girl that's sick and they have to take her to maybe some place that is better suited for medical emergencies, such as a Spirit Cliff, which is a close by island. But they are worried that she might not make it there before whatever she is suffering with gets. So Fenris, being a doctor, he was like, "Okay, just give me like 5 bellies or something. I'll take a look." So Fenris goes in, talks to the old woman sitting next to the girl. He asks about what is happening. He does his medicine checks, whatever. So that happens, and he figures out, okay, it might be Ashland fever because she's been hanging out in the old city, which was burned down about anyway. So 5 years ago, the old city burned down, and then her orphanage that she was living at that time also burned out, and all the people that were in that orphanage during the fire, they passed away. And she goes there to just put some flowers in to respect the dead or whatever, right? So she has been doing that for like almost daily. Doing that, she has gotten some afflictions breathing in the air that's causing the fever. So Fenris determines, okay, this is something that I can temporarily fix right now. He fixes that, she calms down a bit, the fever goes down a little, but then he realizes, okay, this might not be enough. She might need a regular dosage of like actual medicine. So he gets told, oh, you can maybe find a marine dispensary in Eggbank, another part of Drift. While Fenris is doing that, the other crew is looking around to find Dravos, which they've been sent here to find. The people of the village tell them that Dravos was boasting about some job he landed and that a lot of money was coming through his way. And the Greymire bandits, another part of the Driftwood Isle, basically those bandits probably heard about it and they took Dravos. Greymire outskirts where the Greymire bandits usually hang. That area of Greymire is pretty desolate. No one really lives there. It's just the bandits like roaming around, getting anyone who comes through that place. And the crew figures out, okay, so we might as well like go and take care of that. Try to find Dravos. Once the crew gets there, they somehow, I mean, in the last episode, it mostly covers like the whole combat thing. So basically they go there, they deal with the bandits, they figure out, okay, the bandits were experimenting on some animals. They find a sheet of like names written and like a signature by someone, and it's just a weird symbol that says 666 on the syringes that were in the gorillas. They freed one gorilla, but the other one unfortunately couldn't make it through. They had to kill him because he was not at any point would revert back to his original sane form. Whatever they were experimenting with the animals, the gorillas also killed most of the bandits, and the crew took part of the others. One bandit unfortunately got away in the whole commotion. I mean, Fenris promised him to, let the gorillas out. I'll let you go. Now, Fenris is also accompanied by a monkey. His name is Vex. Fenris found Vex, sometime during his childhood, and they've been together for quite a while. Like the whole ranger thing, you kind of have a familiar with that. But I thought, okay, it's a pet. Why not? People have fun. Right? I don't have to be like so strict about classes and everything. So I was like, yeah, sure, because none of the other crews have pets. This is basically the whole thing that happens in session 1. Session 2 is where we like get into some, the crew has like actual repercussions of their actions. They just bumped into some bandits. They thought, okay, this is fine, we'll just take care of the bandits and get to the business. By the way, they did not find Dravos anywhere. For those of you who would never know,
Something just happened.
We went through the whole session already.
We're trying to review your videos, so you do, because you messed up in the recording, right?
Okay.
So
No, so okay. So it happened again right now. I understand the irony of the situation. You don't have to bring it up.
we just forgot to record
the second part where
the second video.
I said literally, I said I'm gonna play the video now, and then I pressed space, and I did not realize that stopped recording on OBS because I was clicked into OBS.
It's stupid that OBS should do
it
something
is,
about it.
It is fucking stupid. It should say a fucking big ass pop up
Yeah.
showing you that the recording has stopped.
It's not. It shouldn't do that with the space. It's a common button.
So you now know what happened.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So I think we can have a much more nuanced discussion at this point. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm just gonna go through the happenings of the episode again because I think in hindsight this might be better because I don't know. I'm trying to save this thing.
Yes.
I'm just trying to save this thing. All right, now I'm actually in the thing. Okay, now I'm gonna press play, and this thing is not going to explode.
It is
Okay.
not.
Speed this up to like 4 or something because I think we could be done talking about the thing. So yeah, so basically as the new day rolls around, a wagon that rolls in, the crew hears the wagon coming to them. What happens then?
Okay, so the guy who's in the wagon, that's what I understood. Okay, the guy in the wagon kicks out the bandit who ran away.
Yeah.
Probably because he abandoned and
abandoned his post and
Yeah.
just left all the
Left
other
all-
people to die.
yeah.
So the guy comes in.
Nick's what's his name?
Nick's Velen Cruz.
Well,
So the crew can clearly see that there's like engravings and stuff like that. The wagon itself, they
black
see a
rose.
black rose flag on top of the wagon. Also a black rose on his suit, like a completely silk suit, black with embroidering all over. The dude basically boasts and talks about, how you inconvenience him by killing all these people, and these rats are not useful at all, and stuff like that. All in all, a very bad person,
Yeah.
just in general.
bad. So he beat the bandit bloody, right? So
Yes,
that's what happened.
yes. As he confronts Fenris and talks a lot of shit, a couple, maybe like 4 bandits also like catch up to his thing because he definitely left them alone to run behind his wagon as he just speeds away to the camp as he orders one of the bandits to kill the bandit that they let go yesterday. As they try to do that,
Fenris
Fenris
actually stops him because he says that's not gonna happen.
Yeah. The guy introduced himself as Nix Valen Cruz from one of the areas of the island called the Silk Court, one of the nobles of the island, of that area, basically. That area is like protected, whatever, right? So his chimera dog thing, whatever that is, which may be due to some of the experiments that these bandits have been doing here. His name is Morrow, and Nix basically goes, okay, well, if you are going to get in my way, might as well just get rid of you, because that's the best conclusion you can get to at this point. The battle ensues. Essentially, they saved Flint. Fortunately, as the battle starts, it eventually goes to Kala. As that happens, Kala throws down another one of his tone dials, which is the flash dial, and blinds a bunch of people, which basically saves them a lot of time. They didn't get the dog though. The dog made the saving throw, but most of the people, the bandits and everything, especially Nix, who is probably the biggest threat here. Well, the dog is also a threat. You'll see the dog gets a bunch of people. They probably still have flashbacks of this dog. I think I made him a bit too strong. I think I toned him down a bit moving forward. We'll talk about that later. The fight, they get into the combat soon enough. They try to sneak around like these 2 guys that are behind in the combat area. They're trying to stay stealthy and maybe get into the combat at a more appropriate time, while Chaco and Fenris take care of these guys. Okay, so Nyx basically has his cane that uses some sort of equipment that he has it loaded with a bunch of smokes and various effects of that smoke. One of the effects is basically PTSD, which you can explain as like psychic damage or whatever, right? So he basically trudges up Shaco's memory of his fighting in the underground and stuff like as part of his backstory. I reveal that to the players as what Shaco is experiencing at that point. Only Shaco knows this, of course, the players don't know this. He takes some psychic damage off of that. A couple rounds happen. Nyx comes out of the whole flashbang thing, and Morrow eventually gets to some of the crew members. Like Fenris, I think, goes down a couple of times. Shaco also gets hit by Nyx a couple of times with his cane sword that he has. And Kala, I think, at some point interferes, and Nyx also uses his abilities, which is basically Charm Person, to make Kala think, which again, as a flavoring thing, I did like smoke thumbs out of Nyx's cane again, like a different type, and that reminds Kala of his grandfather. And it's great. So he thinks that it's his grandfather, and oh my god,
Spike damage.
I spike them. It's basically, I think Fenris or something tried to push the dog or push the spike into the dog at some point. So because they're like surrounded by the spike, most of the bandits die just because they are blinded, they don't know where to go, and our guys just know where to go, I guess, because they were told to like shut their eyes before the flashbang happened. While everyone is in combat, trying to get Flint away from here, so Nyx just does not outright kill him. And as Fenris goes down a couple of times, again, druids don't have a lot of health, and any kind of damage is just bad. Druids are not supposed to be frontliners, but Fenris's body or like his character itself does not feel like he is someone, and especially if he's playing a captain role, he has kind of have to be on the front lines for his crew. So as Kala approaches, I think Nyx charms him. Kala thinks his grandfather tries to help them, but Morrow does not really distinguish between enemies and whatever, and as you know, like Charm Person only works if you yourself did not attack the person who is charmed. You can charm someone and then attack him. That will just break his charm. Like, why is this person that I know is attacking me? That breaks off the effect. As soon as Kala basically came in range, Nyx does that. I think at this point, Shaco also uses his water whip. I think his is Way of the Four Elements or something. I don't remember what his subclass was. All the player characters are starting with level 3. I should have probably mentioned that. So at level 3, every class gets a subclass, which is Way of Open Hand is one of the subclass of Monk. So Shaco is Monk. This guy here, Akira, is Fighter. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't say that. Again, I'll post a separate thing with their classes, what they are, stuff like that.
Backstory, maybe?
Not a lot of backstory. I think that we will just get into the backstory throughout the campaign, right? Things are going to be revealed and stuff like that. It kind of sucks because I cover a lot of things, like small moments between character moments and places, which kind of reveals to you what kind of people these guys are. I think at this point, most of the bandits have been taken care of. Nyx at this point has seen like multiple times these guys go down, but they just did not stay down. They just keep getting back up and again. And Vex has come in handy a lot of times because he has taken some of the medical supplies from Fenris to go to Shaco, who was down at one point, to just stab him with the medical supplies, which healing word does not really work in One Piece D&D, right? So I've flavored it as, it's just a vial of adrenaline or something that you can just inject into people to get them back up temporarily. Nyx gets increasingly frustrated, just fucking fuses his nonsense over and over. And at one point, he just gets too frustrated and he just attacks his dog. And like, I don't care if you guys want to kill everyone, then I'm not going to die here. The dog was. So he hits the dog a couple of times, and that just makes the dog a much less of a threat. He starts limping as we see Nyx basically trying to get away. Okay, I think we're at the charm part finally. Again, I don't remember like a lot of things happening. Combat runs for D&D, even though D&D does not have a lot of like stuff, yeah, there are a lot of, there's not, if you talk about Pathfinder, some of the other systems, they're much more complex. But yeah, combat at level 3, even if there's like a lot of people involved, like you can see the carousel up at the top, right? There's just a lot of bunch of people involved in the fight right now. Only one bandit that is left at this. Well, two. The one that they saved and the one that's like right here. Yeah, you can see Nyx trying to run away at this point. Who is using Moro as shield at this point, try to get away from the guys. I think at this point Shaco is also down, so he does not get any reaction or anything like that. And I think Flint at this point calls out to the other bandit and says, "Okay, what the fuck, man? You just killed all your friends." And
He's leaving.
he's leaving. He's running away. He has to pay, which he makes a wisdom saving check. Wisdom saving check, yeah. But Flint succeeds, and the guy's like, "Okay, you know what? I'm gonna help you. Fuck this guy. This guy sucks." So this guy, the other bandit, just basically goes up to car, starts to like stab the wheel with his sword. As he stabs at the fucking wagon, just bumps into the side of the road. Nyx goes unconscious, and basically that's what the gist of stuff that happens. They don't really find a lot. I think they count the flag for some reason. I have no idea why they did that. And they got, I think, journal of Nyx. They found a key with like a skull shape, platinum embroidered key for some purpose. They don't know that. And I think that's about it. They don't really find much at all. At this point, Kala is just trying to figure out what to do, and he calls one of the bandits to like help him to get Nyx off in one of the cages. Fenris and everyone tries to get everyone up who's down. And I think while they're doing that, Shaka also comes up to Moro and tries to knock him out because he's still limping towards Nyx as he sees like his master basically running away. While they're also doing that, I think they also told the other two bandits to be like, "Oh, can you just like bring the wagon in?" At this point, Nyx is just totally knocked out. He has not gained conscious, and I think basically mostly here is where they end. Thoughts? Things that you want to ask?
It's going good so far. Like I think it's a bit slow paced because it's a lot of fighting.
Yeah, it is a lot of fighting. I mean, sometimes it's just combat. Most sessions.
So they have the two bandits on their side now.
Well, one bandit is on their side, and he kind of, sort of, probably knows the other bandit, which they are also damaged at this point, so they might just stay back and try to relax a bit. They're not on their side per se, but they saved one guy, and they cleared, and the other guy clearly thinks that Nyx is probably not the one to root for at this point. All in all, I just wish, I hope, I don't know, I played Nyx very well, I feel like, and it just kind of sucks that you can't hear him.
Yeah, it's if it's a actual D&D campaign, you can
you have to give
feel
personalities to the characters and the way that they talk and speak, their way of saying things.
Yeah, you can
expressing thoughts. They just add another layer of, I don't know, immersion to the world. This I don't really like. I hope I can get back to the real talk stuff pretty soon. But yeah, most of what they find here is not much. I think at this point they just ended the session, and the rest of the recording is just me talking off session time, just to understand how the players are feeling, stuff like that. Right. So I think at this point, Fenders just cooked some food for everyone to relax a bit. They moved the wagon inside. Fenders I think lifted one of the spikes up temporarily as they move it inside and put it back in. Keep the protection up of the camp at the very least. Yeah, they have locked Nyx up in one of the cages. They have locked Moro up in one of the cages, both unconscious at this point. I don't know what the fuck am I doing. I'm doing something. I don't know what. So, yeah, Fenris cooks some food, I think, and everyone just goes to rest. And this is where we end our... So, I don't have one of the sessions in between at all. I just forgot to record. Well, at all. Like, episode 3, nothing. This is episode 4. But I can just
give a pretext of what happened.
Not a lot of combat happened, clear. Because there was nothing more to do. At that point... B said goodbye to our fourth character, that was Akira. Again, the timing and everything, whatever, I understand people have priorities, but I can't run with the person not showing up for the session most of the time. So I got a new player who was quite integral to the story. You'll realize once I recap episode 3. The session just begins with one of the commanders calling back to Fenris because he has one of the transponder shells that he was given by Black Hand to get in contact with any of the commanders if need be on his mission to South Blue, and Mira is in the South Blue, so he kind of had someone to contact her into South Blue for that. So as Mira calls, she tells them basically that the Black Hand has not responded to any of her calls for like couple days. It's been 3 days since they left Black Hand, so a couple of days they haven't. Black Hand hasn't responded. It's a big deal, and she kind of goes, "Okay, so think Akira, who is more of like an espionage spy kind of." So she was like, "Okay, can you send Akira into North Blue where he was last seen?" So we can get like the updates of what is actually happening with Black Hand, or maybe you can try to find some people. As Akira is leaving the camp, he sees a guy walking towards the camp. The guy has blonde streaks of red hair, some places like at the edges of his hair. He has some earrings. He has one like really long katana. As he's just running towards the camp, they see eye to eye for a couple seconds, but Akira at this point is pretty focused on where he wants to go, so he leaves, says his goodbyes to the crew and everything. As this new guy walks in, he walks up to Fenris as he introduces himself as Goru Yamashita, and he says that you have my brother. So Nix is his brother, and so I know it's like weird to be like, we just fought this guy and then there's his brother just shows up as a player character, and he has nothing to do with these guys. Like, why would he be working with them at all? This is where it gets a bit interesting, because as he walks up and Fenris goes, I have some things to talk to this guy about, like what he was experimenting on, what is this 6-6 bullshit, like what is exactly happening. Fenris goes to question Nix, and Nix, in his usual sense, just mocks him, he's being himself, as Nix is, which is not pleasant, as Fenris just bangs his head against the wall every time he says something wrong. Nix gets frustrated. Fenris, clearly also frustrated, he drags Nix across because he's not giving in any answers, and he puts him up against one of the spikes out of the camp, and he's like, "Tell me what I want to know or you get the spike." Nix is like, "Try whatever you want, I'm not gonna say it." And as Fenris kind of slams him into the spike from one of his shoulders, it's not really like a mortal wound, but that's pretty damaging. As he does that, Nick's still not speaking a lot, passes out, saying something, will eventually fall to the mist. Something of that sort. I don't remember what I said. That's something I said. Alright, so
Definitely.
as he says that, one of the bandits, the one that came up later, he introduced himself as Rob. So the first bandit was Flint. This is Rob. Rob goes, "There was some talk about moving some supply." And he's like, also while we were leaving, he was like, "Oh, it's time to clean up our messes." And he let some of the experimented on beasts that he had caged in the old city, because no one visits there anymore, basically roam free and just let go in the old city to clean up the rest of the bandits that could be traced back to him. We still don't know what Nix is up to, but we know that if the people or if the animals get out of the old city and spread through the other areas of the island, some people might be in danger. And clearly the crew feels like, okay, this is something we need to take care of, because we also have Dravos to go to, and Rob also tells them that they have Dravos captured in the old city. So they want to get Dravos out. They also don't want to see all the villagers and the people of the island die. At that point, Goru is also like, okay, this is my brother's mess, and as unpleasant as he is, I have to clean it up. There's clearly been some distance between them, as Goru and Nyx have also like gone back and forth talking, as Nyx just being himself, as he demeans his brother. Goru tries to be responsible as he could, and he goes like, well, you can't torture my brother. Clearly, I don't want him to die. So can you fix him up as he bleeds out? So Fenris picks him up, and they decide to be like, you know what? I think we should head to the old city and try to figure this situation out. And probably we should get there as soon as possible. Crew gets on the wagon. Goru hears Moro coming back up, and Goru explains to not everyone. Goru just goes, "What have they done to Mikey?" Which used to be their old dog, but now it's Moro. So something definitely happened before him being his own dog, and now it's just some cold beast. Goru tries to talk to Moro. He calms him down. Moro remembers his scent. He's probably the only person he knows here at this camp, even though he's like very detached to everyone else and still like kind of angry at the other people for correct reasons. So Goru tames him a bit, and maybe he sees some of his old dog still in Moro, and they start up the vehicle, the wagon that Nyx had, and they go through Eggbank toward the old city. They put Nyx back in the wagon. As they go to the old city, they see a blockade that's basically blocking the way, so they can't use the car anymore. They leave him back, and the other two go like, okay, the bandits basically that were with them, they go like, okay, we will catch up. As they're leaving the camp, they're not with them, right? We will catch up. We will try to get some more people, maybe help out a bit in this whole mission, right? Because the island is at stake here. There's no bandits or villagers, whatever. So these two bandits depart from the party for the time being, as the party goes to the old city. This is the old city that you're seeing right here. Maybe like some stuff happened in the last episode. Some combat stuff happened. I think I'm just misremembering.
The old city is the one that burned down.
Yes, right? Yes, exactly. With the girl and everything, right? So she hasn't been here in like 2 weeks. So maybe a lot of stuff has happened since 2 weeks. The crew comes into the old city. They see a bunch of animals. Some are still caged, like these anacondas and everything. They were still caged. But Fenris and everyone, as soon as they entered and tried to like maybe take care of them, they got out of because in their rage. They can also clearly see that these animals are like excreting some sort of like weird green goo out of like every like pore that on their body, like from the eyes, from the mouth, and everything. The snake, especially the I don't know what kind of snake it was. I think it was a constrictor snake. It also had venomous. I don't know if constrictor snakes have one, but this one does. Okay, I'm just gonna say this is a hybrid snake. Right. So this one does, and Candace try to fight him. They take care of him as Shaco and everyone do. Everyone just splits. I don't know why they do that. The game is clearly not designed for one person, but everyone just goes their separate ways. I don't know why they do that. Anyway, my thoughts is that they go through the whole thing. Eventually, I think Shaco comes across as he's walking through one of the broken buildings. He comes across a giant bat like creature. It is a bat. It's just mutated from whatever the experiments they've been doing on him. And surprisingly, I think Shaco took it down in like 3 hits. He uses one of his water whips, just knocks him down, and then he uses flurry of blows and just kills him at that point. Everyone else gets in combat too, with some direwolves coming towards Goru and Moro. Goru is this guy. I still have to figure out the art for this guy because I just only have the outlines. It's just a sketch. Most of the other guys have like proper art. But yeah, I'll try to figure that part out soon. Soon, once I run out of thumbnail ideas. I mean, you don't need to know how he looks like. I have described it. What he looks like. He just wears a cloak. Like a long drawn cloak. Can't really see much what he's carrying except for the long sword. You see his head like hair. He's kind of long hair, kind of like Nix's, but streaks of red, like he's dyed them or something. Right? Also, it's just a thing to point out, he has not the same last name as Nix, but he still calls himself this way. Yeah, I think that's mostly what happened as they're like trudging through the city. They see like ashes, the like pieces of ashes all falling down. The parts of the city just burned, broken, disassembled. They've also seen a couple of like houses. It's like something just chopped like pieces off of the building, kind of like making an opening for maybe the air to escape or something of that sort. It does not look usual. Clearly, something happened here. It's unnatural. It's not like those pieces are not anywhere in the surroundings. Those pieces are just gone. There's like the whole roof just taken off. Although it was like burned and everything, it's clearly something else going on here too. Let me play that and make sure I don't stop the recording. This is basically episode 4 at this point. Episode 3 was very
the one that
RP heavy. Not a lot of combat happens. As this begins, Shako is surrounded by like little mutated dogs, hyenas, and like giant rats and stuff like that. As he's trying to fight his way through, and the rest of the crew as well is like trying some wolves, fighting some wolves. Like this, you can see here they're trying to fight some wolves. Goru is trying to fight a dire wolf. They take them out. I don't want to go and explain a bunch of stuff like how they take them out. I guess it's just more works naturally in like a session. As you can see, the other guys have called in some guards from the capital, not the capital, the Silk Court, the guards that usually protect the Silk Court, and they've been like recruiting these people and some of the villagers to maybe try to help the rest of the guys. While this is happening, Chaco takes care of like some of the wolves surrounding them, as the two bandits and a bunch of people. You don't see the tokens on the map, but basically they got like a bunch of villagers as well. Some sort of like weapons and stuff like spears, handmade spears, stuff like to take out these mutated animals all throughout the old city. Again, most of them that were like a threat been taken care of, like the big dire wolf and the giant bat. I think the crew thinks that okay, the leftovers, these guys can. As they do that, the crew also this time tries to stick together for the most part as they move across the city. They also see the orphanage that the old woman back at the Western Docks mentioned. The girl visiting, they see the crumbling edges of the old village. They also see the group of bandits fighting like a giant mutated lion, try to take him out. As they see that, they're like, okay, maybe not a good area to go to at this point. As the crew sneakily tries to get past the group of people here, they kind of wake the sleeping combination of all there. Now, I want to make sure that I'm being clear.
So
I
that
know
what is that?
Owlbear is a thing in D&D. Like it's a fantasy creature. But I am I don't know, I'm allowed to experiment. Okay, I can't make original chimeras.
Yeah.
Okay? It's very hard, especially the stat block. So I was like, you know what? They made an owlbear.
Yeah.
I don't know how. They just made an owlbear. And then that's what these guys have to find. An owlbear is like.
So I wanted to know is that the power rating? 89.
No, those are the initiative or the help.
Okay.
The 89 HP is this guy, 20 HP, 25 HP, 15 HP. Those are the HPs. And once you roll that on the top, it shows up as the initiative, like what order they go with. This is them rolling an initiative. And at one point, I think they surround the owlbear because an owlbear fight is hard. For maybe like level 1. Level, 5 characters? And they have moral. Moral is like a thing which is, they were not supposed to have, but I was
they
like,
just
sure.
got their hands on it now.
So, yeah, they try to fight the owlbear. They take care of him pretty quickly because they quickly surround him and just kill the owlbear. As they kill the owlbear, I think they too take like some of its parts while they're doing that. And as they barely got around to killing the owlbear, the lion that they saw earlier also breaks through some of the walls as he hears the commotion that's happening. happening, and it rushes through the doors as he slams open a bunch of walls and doors, and he just comes in. And this is where basically the session 4 was mostly combat, and these guys just fought one owlbear, now a giant lion, and they do a lot of crazy stuff. See, this is why like rock damage. I'm looking for rock damage because I think someone threw a rock. Yeah, I don't know why, but sure, why not? Yeah, they quickly surround the Sabertooth, even though it was a hard fought battle because I think Shaco was pretty damaged at this point. Quickly, I think take care of him too. As they're going through and looking through everywhere, they find Drake lying down there somewhere. As let me check. If I do have the audio for this, I'm gonna kill myself. I don't have the audio. I have none of the audio. I have no audio, as in I don't have their audio. I don't have my audio.
How did this happen?
I don't know. I think I was muted. Maybe I was streaming the last day or something. I don't know. So they find Dravos, ask him what is happening, stuff like that. They tell him that we're from the Black Hand crew. We're here to get you. You're supposed to take us to the South Blue. And he's like, oh, nice. And they figure out, I think, talking to Dravos, and he's like, oh, I heard the bandits talk about some fireworks. These guys just came back from somewhere that took the fireworks in the South City, another part of the island. There's apparently a lot of parts of the island. We'll find about what South City is soon, and hopefully in like an actual session. I think I have.
You
that.
have not covered that.
You
yet,
do
right?
have. I do have that. I have both the recordings. The players' recordings and mine. I know. Finally, I want to get this over. I'm gonna be real. Yeah. So I've been recording. We've been recording for like 2 hours maybe at this point. Because we lost the recording for the second session. So Dravos tells them that they took some fireworks to the South City. They just came back, and then all of this hell was lost, and I just sneaked behind this desk. I barely survived. The fucking lion almost fucking ate me. So while he explains that to the crew kind of puts everything together. The mist, the firework, maybe he's trying to use the mist somehow to poison the island, get rid of people on the island because, I don't know, he might have some grudge against the people of the island or something.
What about, he's his brother, right?
Goru is his brother, but you'll know more about like what is happening and stuff like that. I think they also ask Goru like, what's up? And he maybe goes like, I don't really remember, but I think he will tell them that he has not been with the Velen crew's family for like the last 5 years, ever since the fire, basically. So he just left because he found out something about the fire. We don't know anything about that. The crew does not know anything about that. Only Goru and me know about that. Part of his backstory. We'll figure that out later.
So Goru is a playable character and someone is playing it.
Yes. Goru is a PC guy. This happens, and I'm gonna make sure I'm not on the OBS screen. Yeah, as they figure it out, Dravos tries to basically make a run for it. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not dealing with that." As he tries to make a run for it, Shaco just grabs him. He's like, "Nah, you're not going anywhere. We need you. We need you to get the fuck out of here first of all. But we gotta figure out the situation of the island first." The crew basically does not want like people to die unnecessarily, clearly. As there's like a bunch of conversation that happens here, which I hope would be in the see, I have it on. I just I can't even like explain how sad this is because I gave so much time into Dravos as well. The voice,
you can't build the character.
Exactly. Like the first impression of a character is mostly that what matters, and you don't have that going forward. It becomes a bit awkward. But hopefully, I have played most of the characters enough, so I maybe play them basically the same way in the future. We won't know. Yeah, so that happens. These guys bring Nyx, who was trying to escape when he came to consciousness from the wagon, there, and just put him down. Try to ask him again what the hell is up, and he goes like, "Didn't you read my journal?" And surely, none of them did. They had the journal, they didn't read it. They find out a bunch of stuff about what is happening. Not a lot. It's just the Nyx has been experimenting with some serums facilitated by someone called Anton 66. They have someone called Captain Drez in a marine under their. I think it was a commander. Anyway, as they look through the notebook, they also find the name of this bandit that's dying right here. He looks a bit different, pretty big compared to most bandits that they've fought at this point. This guy clearly seems like he was an outsourced entity. It's not from the island. They just hired someone to be the leader of the bandits, while Nyx just orchestrated everything in the background. He was not really linked to them in any capacity, unless he, outed himself. As Fenris, again, kind of done with this bullshit, kicks him in the chest, sends him flying a couple of chairs in, and eventually they're like, you know what? You just hang up there on the on the statue. They just hang him up there. The crew discusses what to do at this point, which...
So they actually got who they were looking for.
Yeah, they were looking for Dravos, but at this point, it can't just leave the island, people of the island to die, right? And clearly, Goru is not really okay with what Nyx is doing, what they've been planning. He doesn't even know who's involved yet, but we'll find that out in the next episode. Maybe spoiler, I don't know, but fucking who cares? Yeah, I think that at this point, this is the notes that's in the notebook. You can pause the video and look at it, but yeah, this is all they find out about what's up with that. They also learn that Dravos cannot read or write, so Kala just takes him to the side and tries to teach him some words, his name, stuff like that. At the end of the session, the crew finally decides that the next thing that they probably need to do is head to the South City, maybe try to get to the fireworks and disable them, get them out. Yeah, that's where the session ends. And fortunately, this is where I have my recordings.
Wait, so you just missed like 2 sessions?
3 sessions.
And one you missed completely, right?
What did we
session 3?
Yeah, I just didn't record.
Yeah.
I just didn't hit record. Literally, like right now, right? I had OBS open.
I think it happens. Like, I get that now.
But you don't have to be nice to me.
Okay.
Right? So just be... How did you enjoy the story up until this point?
I mean, I wouldn't say it is as bad as your first run.
What first one?
The first run you had.
First run that I had with some of my friends. Yeah, that was me first time DMing, right? I didn't really think a lot of like the background and everything.
Yeah, the map building looks a lot better.
I mean, the map itself is like a separate thing. I was using Roll20 at that point, and this is Foundry. Foundry is like very detailed. And I also find a bunch of maps in, Reddit. On Reddit, you can find a bunch of maps. There's a bunch of websites that you can find the maps at. And luckily, there's a map for every scenario somehow, because someone has thought of things like this. And I'm lucky to have like the exact map of a orphanage plus a burned down orphanage. That's rare to find.
So you did put in the monsters.
I did put in the monsters. Whatever I had in Foundry, like by default, I think you have some core monsters from D&D 5e that I use. Like owlbears are like pretty common in D&D. I don't know, you know a lot. I mean, I know you don't know anything about D&D.
Know anything.
But I don't know. To someone who has watched One Piece, and you don't know anything about Rustage either. He is my whole inspiration of doing something like this. We know about what happened last year. We don't need to talk about this. But I think at one point I was like, there's only you have only so much time. Right, and maybe we should try to do something while we are alive to, enjoy ourselves. Maybe I have a bunch of time, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll try to do it with my friends. It didn't really work out. They had responsibilities, they had things to attend to, and I understand that. But I thought, okay, you know what? I'll just start a Discord server. I'll just post what I have, which is basically the same setting I used in that game, and those characters still exist. Like Linus is one of the NPCs I played with them in the previous campaign. So I just kept that character as is, maybe like changed a few things about him, and most of the PCs of that campaign, which didn't really go that far. I think we did like 3 episodes, right? So yeah, I just turned those PCs into NPCs, and we have now. And I don't know if you know this, I have another group of people, 2 groups of people running beside these guys. So they might coincide, but one of the groups don't really want to get recorded, which I respect. I always ask people if they want to be like recorded and stuff. Like again, I don't know any of these people. I ask their permission if you are cool with me recording and putting these online. And one of the people of one of the groups didn't want, so I didn't record them at all. I did record one other crew, but they had like a lot of issues. People leaving, people just not replying at one point, just fucking disappeared off the face of the earth. And then scheduling issues, which is like, it was getting to like 6 a.m. for me. And that was just not feasible
Yeah, that's not
for me, right? I wake up in the morning, I feel like throwing up at 6 a.m. Okay, I can't do that.
So you
I'm
have
not
like
built
two
for that.
others going on side by side.
Right now, I have two others. The other two are having a lot of problems. This one, admittedly, this has been going very smooth. You would not imagine the amount of shit that has been happening in the other two. But yeah, for sure, this is a bit more grounded. The other two might not be that
There's
grounded.
still One Piece D&D.
Yeah, they're still One Piece. They're set in the same world. All of this is happening kind of around the same times. Maybe like a couple of weeks in ahead or like back in time or stuff like that. But yeah, most of them, the crew people, most of them are part of the same Black Hand crew. At this point, I have like 3 or 4 characters that are technically part of the Black Hand crew and which are turned to NPCs at this point because they just keep leaving. I just don't.
Per day you get more NPCs.
I mean, I get more NPCs, but I want to handcraft these NPCs. I don't want some other people's fantasy idea of their favorite fanfic character put into this world, which doesn't really, a lot of time does not. I understand, like, you want to play someone that you like to play as, but at the end of the day, you have to roll. You can make a broken character, you can put it in their backstory, whatever you like. But if the role's not doing the job, then it doesn't matter. If you say that you're pretty strong, but then you roll Nat once back to back, it does not matter. You have to realize that to not take this thing very seriously is a co-op.
It's just a matter of luck, right?
It isn't a matter of luck most of the time. It's a d20 dice. It isn't that. That's why most of the things are left up to the dice. You can use like proficiency bonuses and stuff like that to add like permanent +2s and +3s to the rolls, which helps a lot, of course. But at the end of it, it's still dice. If you roll a nat 1, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much proficient you are in whatever you're doing. It's not gonna work.
So you just need to edit this one and then just the next ones are already ready. Like two
Well,
are ready.
I have one ready. Well, two. There's been issues with recording stuff. Not like recording stuff, like getting people together to do sessions. I did basically 2 side missions before all of this happened. On their way to Driftroot, some people who showed up, I just ran a side story that I just came up with at that point. I don't know if I'll ever upload that because that's like part of the site. It's like filler. I don't know if people are interested in that. If you guys are, let me know in the comments. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, of course, you think it's better than the first one.
I mean, I think it's worth going forward with if the if you can control it all, right?
Exactly.
There's a lot
exactly.
of stuff.
There's a lot going on, especially with like 2 crews running side by side, and a bunch of stuff happens, which is just I have to kill off characters, I have to maintain PCs and stuff like that.
It's unexpected, right?
It is unexpected, but again, it's like collaborative storytelling, so I think it's like par for the course. This is what I signed up to do. I have never played as a player ever. And I started doing this in January. I tried to find groups, but most of them in America. In America, Americans have times that are not really great for me. Somehow I found people who are in the EU, UK, whatever, to be in the session. Some I think, I'm pretty sure some of them are American, but they somehow make it work. I don't know if they have to go to work later. I mean, I'm also doing this on the weekends.